Thanks for watching. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And yeah, that wasn't a good transition, so I don't know.
Perfect.
I don't
Print
know
it.
what to do here.
Print it. Print it. Put that on paper. Go to press. This is we're like a newspaper.
Yeah.
We'll get this film developed. Remember when you had to develop film? Hey guys, it's your best fight friends. I'm Kelsey. That's Rachel. Not this is Rachel. That. This or that. That's what I've decided to do today.
This or this?
Or that.
Hey, did you guys know that there's a global pandemic?
I just actually heard something called the coronavirus. Something like that. It's causing some pretty hefty changes to the world as we know it. Know it.
Here's an interesting thing.
Put that in post.
Kelsey and I both worked from home prior to this, work from home now.
Or maybe even more now.
There wasn't a huge shift. I mean, I had a reason to leave the house, I think 4 times a week. Now 3 of those are done online, and the other is curbside grocery pickup. So I'm not somebody that was like out and about a lot.
Also, Rachel's an introvert.
Not a lot changed. Here's an interesting thing. I thought I won't have any effects of like going through this global pandemic. I was wrong.
Rachel was wrong.
It's healing now, but I had a stress rash breakout on my arm.
Something it was, yeah.
That I didn't know that I had feelings, that I was dealing with stress because of this global pandemic. So we wanted to talk a little bit about that today within combat sports. So
I've observed it in combat sports. I've seen things.
Observing people maybe reacting in ways.
A good example would be John Jones and Chael Sonnen, if you call the UFC, going at each other on social media. And they've kind of always gone at each other since they fought a long time ago. That's just part of the thing John Jones does, and Chael Sonnen does, frankly. But this has been extra especially hateful, I think. And I think it's because people deal with these type of things in different ways. The same thing can be said for Conor McGregor if you follow Conor McGregor on social media. Because remember when Conor came back in January with new Conor, meet the new Conor, and Conor was saying things in a new way. He learned new language. He learned how to say he was grateful and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Well, when the chips are down, it's hard.
Well, because here's what can happen is when you're learning and growing, you can learn new things, but then something happens that is a stressor, and that can trigger old behaviors that have historically gotten you through lots of things. So an example for me is that when I get stressed, I stay busy. I start doing tasks. I that's what I do. I start over managing. I remember when the quarantine and all this uncertainty at the beginning of it, I think I tried to tell you how you should deal with your bath towel. Kelsey is a grown man, and I was finding ways to I was over managing. And so that's how it looks for me. We noticed Conor McGregor maybe had some extra time on his hands.
Because he was happy and old Conor lashing out at everybody.
Yeah.
Telling people that he was going to wear their teeth as a necklace and all this crazy stuff. That was kind of overboard for new Conor. Conor.
Above and beyond just some
it seemed like
promotion
Conor,
type thing.
It seemed like post 229 UFC 229 Conor that he's not just doing that.
Right.
He's learned. You can see he's definitely implementing new behaviors and new ways to deal with things.
I would say over the past few days, awesome. I've noticed
today's post was pretty cute because he was LOL, and he's got a little cute picture of himself, So I'm really happy to see that.
And then I saw his stories, I think, yesterday, and he had, all this positive, energy to put out into the world. And so that's pretty normal, a 1 step forward, 2 steps back whenever you're learning and growing. But I wanted to point out somebody else in the fight community, and that would be Tyson Fury.
The Scottish psychopath!
That's not him.
Oh, I'm sorry. That's
He's a fighting man.
I'm a fighting psychopath!
Okay. Tyson Fury, I've been watching his stories, and has leaned into some new behaviors and habits that he created since he recovered from depression, drug use and came back from that. Now he's had some time, right, to have established these habits. So now we get a huge issue like this, the COVID-19, and it's stressful for everybody. But what does Tyson do? It appears that he leaned into those habits. He's doing family workouts. Seems like he's prioritizing his life correctly, and like he hunkered down with his family. He's like, my family's important, and really like just leaned into that.
And that's great to see, especially I've kind of identified with what Tyson Fury, the journey that he's had and went through. And so it's been nice to see him it's in such a positive way take charge of his life and also be, I think, a beacon of light for other people. I know he was for me because he was kind of ahead of me when I started my own recovery journey. And then now knowing, seeing all the amazing things that he shares on social media and that he truly has changed his life. The coronavirus was a great opportunity for people to see, for him, honestly, that's what I thought. I was like, oh, we're going to find out how real Tyson Fury's recovery stuff is. We'll find out how real Kelsey McCarson's recovery stuff is during a high-stress time. And
well, it's not even like how real it is, but
how effective it is what I'm saying.
That, or you see where somebody's at in their recovery. You see, have they really committed? Have they established the behaviors and the habits? Or is the global pandemic going to be something that they, in turn, learn and grow from? They're like, oh, you know what?
Yeah.
This pandemic happened, and I went back
all
my old behaviors.
That's what I'm saying. I thought my recovery was good, but really, it wasn't.
And that's what these things can be for people, is a check. Like, oh, let me check in with myself and see where I'm at with everything. There was another observation we had, and I don't remember the fighter's name, but he didn't get to fight in a recent card because his opponent didn't make weight, I believe.
Yeah.
And
we'll leave a link down in the show notes. He's a UFC fighter.
He saw his opponent in the hotel lobby and like blew up. Like and somebody caught it, on cell phone and posted it and everything. But what we observed, or I'll speak for myself, what I observed was, wow, like here's somebody where, like he's super pissed. Like he doesn't get to, get paid for this fight. He doesn't, like, he's missing out. Like, it is stressful, and sometimes you just get taken to the limit and then you explode. And that's the kind of stress, like people's livelihoods, people's ways to support their family are all on the line because this is a global pandemic, and so people are feeling it all over. So you're a little bit closer to that edge than you might be otherwise. It's always helpful for me to remember, so I can, when people react in a certain way, I can take it with a grain of salt and like respond with maybe a little bit of understanding and compassion and be like, hey, you know what? I have been there. I have been pushed to the limit and then exploded because I just couldn't like take it anymore. Like 1,000 paper cuts is what I've heard. Like all these things add up, and sometimes you don't know that you're stressed when like you are, and then you kind of explode and go over the top.
Definitely a possibility that happened in that case, and in a lot of cases. So I hope that you're doing well during this time. I think that everybody has learned new ways to live our lives, and that's great. And you can always come here and hang out with us, your best fight friends.